Donald, I want you to come through and confirm that that's your card. Ian? They hated each other at the end.
Set.
Okay, so we're only seconds into me editing this, and I feel that I have to elaborate on a couple of things here that have really been bugging me, because Pat Fragamini is playing a bigger part in this session than I would have thought, but it's intuitively here, guys. When I turned these cards over yesterday, I'm trusting my ability to know what they're telling me more than ever before, and it's working. I know what they're telling me. This story makes sense, and there's something that's come to me, and I'm getting full shivers of confirmation that I need to elaborate on. There's more to this Pat Fragamini connection. Now remember, she changed her testimony 8 years after the fact to put Donald Kelly away. At the time, when they were younger, romantically involved with Ian, or trying to be, but she couldn't have a relationship with him because Carol never let him go. Always kind of kept her thumb on him. They had a child together, and even though Carol was sleeping with everybody else and married to Lyle, and then who was Jack's brother, and then lived with Jack, and there was rumors, that they were together, and the boxes told us that they were the best lovers ever. Carol's words, not mine. This is a soap opera, guys, just bear with me. But the Pat Fragamini thing, and what keeps coming back here is this jealousy between her and Carol over Ian, and this has something to do with Carol's downfall, as well as, being pregnant with Black's baby, if this is in fact true, which is why I think she was murdered. But there was all of these things against her. So there's 3 reasons why Pat changed her story, right? There was the threat of the police. We've talked about that. They took her and interrogated her 4 times, bought her apparently like new clothes and a bunch of food, and took her out and makeup, and made her feel good about herself. They tried to bribe her that way, and then when that didn't work, they coerced her. They took her and locked her up for days and told her, you're going to say this, that, the other. This is what the defense lawyers said they did. 4 times they took her away, so she had all that police pressure. Then there was a rumor that she actually took $5,000 from Plaghisi. Okay, Blackie Plaghisi said, Donald's guilty, we want you to testify against him. And there was a rumor that she took money, $5,000. Okay, these rumors don't just come out of nowhere, so there had to be something to that. So police pressure, $5,000. We talked about those before. This is the part that's playing in my head. This relationship, she was a scorned lover because she never got she never got to have that relationship with Ian that she wanted, right? They never got to be together. So there was that. She was scorned by Ian because of Carol. It didn't work out. He couldn't give up Carol. He was still in love with Carol. That's the bottom line. So between those 3 things, that is why Pat changed her testimony. And I feel that this last one is a big part of it. She has something to do with this ring that Ian gave to Carol when they were young lovers, teenagers. Either Pat stole it or took it. There's something I think she stole it. I'm just going to say it like it is. She stole it. And somehow Ian got it back. I had an envisionment before of him throwing it. I don't know where. Is it gone? Did he go back and pick it up? Does somebody still have it? I don't know. Is it a part of what we're going to find to solve this case? I don't know. But the ring plays a bigger part, and so does Pat. I'm getting full shivers down my neck because something came back to me that we heard in an earlier episode. One of the first that we ever did, fake friend. And they talked about the betrayal. Well, was Pat the one who was betraying Carol? Is that what we're talking about? Something to keep in mind. I think that's what she was talking about. Pat was the fake friend. Ian gave testimony that Donald was the one who pulled the trigger, even though we know Did you guys hear that? I was talking, so I didn't notice it, but there's that weird snap again. That's probably not true. And it's either one of two things. All I can tell you guys is that I know after all the research we've done that the cops were in on it. If you believe this box, Detective Black is the one who actually killed them. But as we know, this was such a bad... The whole thing was bad. The trial was a joke. The whole case, the investigation was a joke. How only one of them went to prison for this. If they did it, then they were all guilty. They all should have went to prison. And that didn't happen. Donald Kelly, were you innocent? This next card is Black's card. And I don't think it's him choosing this card. I think it's them, somebody, Carol. This next card is Black's card. Black's. Nine of spades. So swords. Spades is swords. Thinking. Rebel. Against you. Fights for a cause. Intellectual. Political. So we know that he was a detective. He was moving up the ranks. He had a career to protect. Somehow he investigated this case, even though he was the one who got a tip about where the bodies were, found them hours after they were killed, out in the middle of nowhere. And nobody to this day, I can't find anything that says who sent in this tip, where this tip came from. And you guys know that I have hypothesized he didn't need a tip. He knew they were dead there because he was either at the scene or killed them himself while he was there. Let's look at what the 9 represents. So the 9 is nightmares. Yeah, fits right in here. All of this fits right in with this case. Anxiety, repetitive thought, depression, worry. Okay, this was his card. This would have hung over him for the rest of his career, the rest of his life. What happened? What went down? And it wasn't just that he was a bad cop on this case. From what my understanding is, there were shakedowns. They didn't follow the rules. They didn't keep logs or track of any of this stuff. There was no cameras back in the day. You just did what you wanted, and you got away with it. And if I believe, which I think I do, from every session I've done, just the gut feeling in my bones, everything they've said, and my own intuitive feelings about this, he was a bad dude. The worst of the worst. So when I say, you know, that nightmares and anxiety and depression and worry and all these dark things surround this guy with that card, that absolutely fits Black. And I have no feeling right now as to who these last 2 cards are for. I actually, in fact, feel that they're not a specific person, maybe. Tell me about these last 2 cards before I turn them over. Tip, I was thinking this is something general. Just about how bad this case was handled in All right, I'm going to turn this card over. I want you to tell me hearts, feelings again. Okay, so we're defining some of the characters here, some of the things, some of the players in this tragedy, and now we're back to feelings again. I don't know what the 8 means. I feel that the more I do this now being the second session I've done, I do have to trust my instincts that I'm spot on, because everything I'm feeling and seeing and envisioning as I do this is making sense with this case. When I say this is somebody's card and I feel I'm right. I don't know how to describe it, guys. I'm not a vain person, I'm not trying to be, but I have to trust in my own ability. They just said it a minute ago. Gift. Eight of Hearts. Change direction. breakup, hard choice. And I'm feeling that this is to do with Carol and her relationship with Black. That it was the wrong choice, a bad choice. I think she originally got involved with Black to protect herself from the police, okay? Or to seek police protection maybe from these other entities. And she wound up dealing with Black, and that was the worst thing that could have happened. And she was in a romantic relationship with him. But the boxes also told us dozens of times how she was assaulted, raped, and was pregnant with his child. That may very well be why she was killed. Because he was married. And I can't prove any of this. So how do you put this in a movie? Well, it's based on a true story, and I honestly believe, guys, we are getting the true story from this spirit box, from the players themselves. Comment below. I know it's a soap opera. Do you guys believe in what I'm finding? I'm not going to turn this off until we get a Hack Shack reply. We have not had one. I'm going to send out some light and love. Not just to Carol and Jack. To Don and Kelly as well. And I just want to tell you guys what I'm feeling when I was thinking. Donald popped into my head there. It was that he learned valuable lessons from this life. It was something he had to do. And it's right. It's all right. It's okay. Donald, can you come through? I honestly feel that maybe Donald Kelly is the one who was inspiring me to do this session. I wasn't thinking that at first. I was just thinking of the video I tried to make yesterday and the interruptions that I had coming through. But this card, to get this card twice, upside down, not a coincidence. There's a shiver. I don't know what that said. But there's a shiver down the back of my neck, which usually means confirmation. I've got one card left. I sense female, something to do female with that card. Pat Fragamini. 10 of spades. Is that your card, Pat? Again, what does spades mean? I forget. Okay, so spades is rebel, fight for a cause, intellectual, politician. Love, fulfillment, family, and joy. I don't know how that fits into Pat, but I believe, even though that doesn't seem to make any sense to me, guys, I would not have picked that to go with Pat. I'm telling you that that's my sense on that. The sense I have about Pat is that she played a bigger role in backstabbing Carol. We talked about this ring being stolen or removed from Carol's hand and thrown by Ian. It may have already been taken from her by Pat. There's some connection there with this ring and Pat and jealousy because she wanted Ian. But Ian already had a child with Carol. And that Carol would never really let Ian go. That maybe she kept her thumb on him a little bit. Pat, do you want to come through? Did you want to start a family with Ian? I think I've just hit on it, guys, because I'm getting like information that yes, that this is when we're talking about love, fulfillment, family, and joy, that Pat wanted to start this relationship with Ian and couldn't do it because Carol was still in the picture. Now, I'm not saying she had anything to do with her death, but there was jealousy and there was fighting there. Carol, was Pat jealous of you? Said her friggin' name. Did Pat steal your ring that Ian gave you? This was a ring that Ian gave her. I'm 100% sure of this. Where's your ring now? And I'm getting a sense that there was an inscription on the ring, and that the ring could be tracked down as a piece of actual evidence to further prove what they're telling me, that the ring still exists, it's still out there. Now, does somebody have it, or am I going to metal detect it? But I feel that this is an integral part. Just like they keep talking about bullet, find the bullet. I don't know what I would do with a bullet, guys. Even if I found a bullet that could have been matched up to one that came out of their skulls, what would I do with that in this day and age? Nothing. But they keep talking about the bullet like it's going to be an integral part of validating, maybe not solving the crime, but validating all of the things they're telling me. The gun, the bullet, they've mentioned those hundreds of times. This ring, I also feel, is part of it. It could be used as evidence to validate the messages that I'm getting, not so much the case or who did what in the case, but to prove that all of this is real. And I'm getting a full shiver of confirmation right there, guys. I'm feeling really good about this connection. I don't know what to say. I'm trusting my own ability more after doing this and not just questioning whether this is all craziness. Whether I'm just making this up with ear pareidolia, and we know that's not the case because I found things researching after the fact, things that have been said on here. A normal, sane person has to question what's coming out of this box, this soap opera that's been told to us. Is there any truth to it? It's just so crazy. Am I going to find that ring? Yes or no? Something's telling me to turn over one more card. They just told me when I started this to turn over one more card, the top card. I was ready to shut this down and say thanks for watching, guys, but we're going to check one more card here. It's like a validation of something. They're telling me it's a validation, full shiver. Nine of clubs. Which is, again, action is clubs, wands. Win at all costs. Strength and endurance. That's like an affirmation that we're not done. We're going to win. We're going to solve this. We're going to resolve this. I guess that's it, guys. I'm not done. I'm going to meet with my informant, and she has a ton of stuff for me to go through. It could be a reopening, a resurgence of my passion for this case, because right now I have nothing to go on other than these guys hijacking my spirit box sessions. One last message before we go. I knew it. I heard a male voice and then a female voice. So that's it. We're done here. The message has been given, and that's to not give up on this case, that we're going to resolve it. We're going to finish this. And I think that's going to be through a movie, guys. I don't make movies, but somehow a movie is tied into this. It's just too good of a story to not be told.